Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in Amrutanubhava and we are looking at last week we were seeing the three forms of expressions of ignorance, the Karana Rupa, the Sopadika Rupa, and Nirupadika Rupa. The Karana Rupa is where, from the point of cause, I do not know because I'm ignorant. This we have taken as the basis. This is the expression. This is what we speak. This is how we believe. This is how we conduct ourselves in life. This problem the Lord does not have. Lord knows everything all the time because he is beyond time, space, and objectivity. Just like you are also beyond the waking, dream, and deep sleep. But in the waking, you say, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. How can you not know? When you know the waking state has come and gone, which means everything that is happening in the waking state also was known to you. But in the waking state or in the dream state, we're taking each state as an individual state and we create a separate personality there. Then that is because of this forgetfulness of our true nature, which is beyond the three states. I don't know. What did you say? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. What? But do you know that the three states came and went? Yes. Then why can't you be that? I don't know. And we go on. So that is the Karana Rupa. Second is Sopadhika Rupa. Like seeing the mirage, which can happen only under certain specific conditions. And when there is forgetfulness, I don't know myself. This is what you are saying all the time. That's why you forget that you are a man or a woman, and you start behaving as start taking the father, daughter, wife, husband, that as real. Man is real, woman is real. The roles that you are playing are not real. And that's exactly what are those roles? Those roles are created under specific circumstances with reference to something or someone. And that's what is told here. Like seeing the mirage. Mirage is created under specific conditions. The rays of the sun have to be falling in the right at a particular angle. The earth should be so at a particular temperature, and so on and so forth. Then the mirage gets created exactly the same way. The husband gets created only when the wife is in front. Son gets created when the mother is in front. So what are these? Sun, wife, husband, mirage, blueness of the sky. These are the Sopadhika Rupa. Then the third one, Nirupadhika Okay, the first, this one was under certain conditions, which is mirage. Okay, the third is nirupadhika, like the blueness of the sky, which cannot be removed even if one knows it does not exist. So now you know there is mirage water, but you cannot drink the water. You know there is blueness of the sky, but you cannot remove the blueness of the sky and paint it with another color. So that which is appearing only under certain conditions, nothing can be done about it. And that is what we try. So where did this whole problem begin? It began with forgetfulness. The first one was Karana Roop. I don't know. It's not that I don't know what this is or that is. The main crux is I don't know myself, that I am of the nature of infinite. Thereafter, this is called non-apprehension of the self. Once this happens on account of identification with the body. Expression of consciousness through the body is God's creation. Nothing can be done about it. It is happening. Again, I repeat, expression of consciousness through body is God's creation, Ishvara Srishti. What is individual creation? The individual creation begins from identification with the body. I should say, it begins from this A, Karana Rupa, by forgetfulness of the self. Thereafter, that is non-apprehension. Then second, non-apprehension leads to misapprehension. Delusion, another word for that is delusion, self-forgetfulness, leads to illusion. What is illusion? The blueness of the sky. What is illusion? The mirage waters. What is illusion? The father, mother, daughter, sister, all these roles that you are playing, they are existing in their own absence, just like the mirage and the blueness of the sky. This is the illusion. Delusion leads to illusion. This is the mistake we are making. And third, if we want to remove the illusion, we cannot remove the illusion. If you want to change the illusion, we cannot change the illusion. See? So if this is, in all these three ways, ignorance does not exist. Only in the kingdom of logic has the word any meaning. In reality, from the point of view of the ocean, there is nothing like the wave, independent of itself. Thus, the word ignorance becomes null and void the moment the contemplation is in the right perspective. Now, understand one thing. This is what we said, ignorance has three forms of expression. I don't know, there is nothing there. In projection also, it is existing in its own absence, so there is nothing there. And in the third one, nirupadhika, nothing can be done about it. So where is ignorance? Here Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying, everything is Ishwar Maya. Everything is divine. There is no place for ignorance to express. Then why did you say that ignorance expresses in these three forms of expression? Because this is your observation. Whose observation? Individual's observation. In relative, this is our observation. We are what are we practicing here, or what are we trying to get to, or what are we trying to discover here? we are discovering to go beyond the relative and be the infinite transcendental principle which has never come and gone. Mirage waters come and go, forgetfulness comes and goes. Even at the relative level, I don't know who that person is, now I know who that person is. But when we come to the self, we have never forgotten the self. There has never been a moment in our life or lives where we have ever been divorced from our true nature. Do you feel that you are not alive? Divorce means you are no longer the self. Do you feel you are not the self right now? Because that will be equal to dead. And that idea comes in our mind. Why? Because we are identified with the body. The moment we transcend and accept and be the self, then there is no birth, there is no death. That is Jivan Mukta Purusha. Towards this abidance, towards this discovery, towards this revelation, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is taking us. He is saying it out of his direct experience. But he's prodding us through his words to be that. But all these are just words. Words are themselves, they are not able to prove anything. Thus, the word ignorance becomes null and void the moment contemplation is in the right perspective. When it is in the right perspective, two things happen to us. Majority of us go to sleep. Because the moment we are attentive of the conscious self, and you don't have the stamina, the capacity, the steadiness, the mind has been trained over and over and over that quiet mind is equal to sleep. So we go and start snoring. Some of us come out of that and go to transcend sleep and dive into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But such people, even after Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the world is there for them. But this practice must continue. At the same time, we must continue with the satsang in this particular manner, that there is no coming and going. I have gone, I was in Nirvikalpa Samadhi and now I am not in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Why? Because I can see the world, I can see the differences. I don't see the divine now. Did you see the divine in Nirvikalpa Samadhi? No, you can't see. Because seeing will mean that there is a seer and the seen. Then where were you? I don't know. If you don't know, then big problem. Then you are sleeping. If you are focused on the self and you were awake and it led you to samadhi, it is good. But it is not complete abidance. Complete abidance is day in and day out, 24/7, under all circumstances, under all conditions, under all interactions, under all communications, we are that. I am that. Pure infinite consciousness. And it's not just I am that. Everything that is seen, heard through the senses, everything that is thought by the mind, all that is also nothing but the divine alone. Not only if God comes into your mind, then it is divine. And if the wife comes, "Oh, teri ki what happened? Where did she come from? I was thinking of the Lord." And then it is undivine. We have to come to a point. In fact, I'm just saying these words only for explanation. From the divine point of view, there is no multiplicity. There is no multiplicity. Because from the divine point of view, only divine is. Till here we saw last week. Now, in the next OV, नाना पुनिवे चे अंधारे दिहा भेणे राती मोहरे किए तांसी सुधा करे गिळिजे जेवी. Frightened by the daylight, the darkness ran towards the night of full moon and got swallowed by the moon. The status of ignorance is as meaningless as the status of darkness. The darkness, frightened by the day, ran towards the night. The moment the moon came out, the darkness was swallowed by the moon. It's just a picture being put in your mind as the darkness, which is equal to ignorance, frightened by the light, frightened by the darkness. Here darkness will be what? Where is the multiplicity? Where are the words? Where is the variety appearing? In the world. Where is the world? In the mind. What is mind? Essentially consciousness. What do you consider it to be? A problem. That problematic mind, if we take it, is the darkness, is the ignorance. It is in the mind. Mind means duality. Self means unity. Duality is now this is what we are trying to sort, that there is no duality. And when this mind is contemplating on the self initially, but self is not a concept of the mind, self is not a thought in the mind, self is not an idea or imagination in the mind. You are the self. And as you be the self, the mind runs away, meaning it dissolves, meaning it is swallowed. Here, what did it say? It ran towards the night. The moment moon came out, the darkness was swallowed by the moon. The darkness in meditation, if we want to say, is experienced only when we are trying to withdraw from the body. Then void comes. But if we are being the self, the mind will dissolve, meaning all the thoughts, the variety in the mind will dissolve, all the ripples in the mind will dissolve, initial stage, and therein the reflection of the self in the mind will happen. And the moment self reflects in the mind, the darkness of the mind vanishes again. There is no place for it. This is what is told as when the moon comes up, the darkness also is swallowed away. But when we do or pursue the meditation in duality, maintaining the duality, then we come face to face with darkness or void. It only shows that we were not subjective. It only shows that we are still trying to be the self but not accepting and being the self. In the same way, the word ignorance is denied in both ways. Neither can it exist in the Atman, nor can it exist independently. From Atman's point of view, ignorance is not, and independently, ignorance cannot exist. Now apply it subjectively. From the Atmic point of view, there is no mind. From the it so it cannot exist in Atma. Can the mind exist independently? No, it cannot, because it has got no status of reality. A dead man has got no mind. So there is, when we take mind as the expression of ignorance, which is duality, or like in the previous, the I don't know, then the mirage, and you cannot remove the mirage. These three places: the Karana Rupa, Sopadhika Rupa, and Nirupadhika Rupa. There is no place for this at all. There is no place for the husband, wife, daughter, sister, whatever. They are not in the woman or man. There is only man. Then where is the father? Where is the teacher? Where is the student? Where is the anyone? Any role that you play, that you express through? No, you are the one. Then what is that expression? What is that role? It is a projection. Can you remove the projection? No, you cannot remove it. But where is it existing? Is this projection existing in the body, in the man or the woman? No. Is the projection of father, mother, daughter, sister existing independently? No. Then where is it? It is existing in its own absence. Come to this. This is what is being told here. Don't try to gather knowledge. Apply it on yourself right now as we are unfolding it. Yes, the mother or father cannot express without the man or the woman. But are they in the man and the woman? No. Can they exist independently? No. Then what is their status? It was before also it was man, or during also it was man, and afterwards also it was man. Similarly, before also it was Atman, during also it is Atman, afterwards also it is Atman. Just like before a wave came into existence, there was water, during the existence of the wave it is water, and after the wave dies, it is also water. So before the appearance of the thought, it was consciousness. During the expression of the thought, it is consciousness. After the thought also, it is consciousness. And where are we caught up? Think. Where are we caught up? We are caught up in thoughts. We are caught up in thought fixations. We are caught up in so many different imaginations. In fact, I should say, rather than imagination, we are caught up in so many projections. So from the self point of view, body is also a projection. So the moment we initiate this inquiry into the self, what is its nature? Does it support ignorance? Does it include ignorance? Does the self reveal after ignorance is removed? All these statements are null and void, because Atman, the absolute self, is always. There is no place for ignorance to exist. Now, the inquiry into the existence of ignorance is taken from another angle, adopting what is called the inferential method, karyanumeya. From the effect, the cause is inferred. Using this method, the inquiry is now taken up into the nature of ignorance, if it can be experienced directly or inferred to exist from its effect. We keep telling you every effect must have a cause. Cause alone expresses as many effects. If there is no cause, there is no effect. These are the three rules of cause and effect. I'll repeat it again. Every effect must have a cause. Second rule, cause alone expresses as many effect. Third rule, if there is no cause, there is no effect. Now, I think it will go in that direction. Let us see. Tari ajnana swarupa kaise kaya karyanumeya ase की प्रत्यक्षची दिसे धांडोळू आता. What is the nature of ignorance? Can it be inferred from its effects or seen directly? Let us investigate. The doctor, from the symptoms of disease, comes to know that this is the disease. If there is an eye problem, from the symptoms, this is jaundice. If the joints are hurting, it is arthritis. If sugar is high, it is diabetes. They give it a name. From the symptoms, they come to know the cause of that symptom. Now, is that how can you come to know the ignorance from effects? Or can you directly experience ignorance? What is the essential nature of ignorance that is being inquired into? In other words, the duality. In other words, what is the essential nature of mind? This also way you can put it. Is the essential nature of mind not knowingness? So far, all the attempts to establish its existence seem futile. So everything that we have seen in the 39th verse, we saw that it does not exist. We cannot prove under any sets of circumstances the existence of ignorance. Is there any other way? Can it be inferred from its effects? Yet another methodology is being employed. Whenever we talk about the truth, we talk by way of logic, we talk by way of inference, we talk about it by way of neti, we talk about it by way of anvaya, inclusivity, exclusivity. So there are different ways to prove something. All this comes when we see the Upanishads with Shankar Bhashya. Is there any other way? Can it be inferred from its effects, karya? Can it be established directly? Let us inquire. Can we establish the presence or existence of ignorance directly? We say no. In meditation there was void. Fine. Void is nothing. So that we don't get caught up in that. Ignorance is beyond the grasp of the senses. First, अहो प्रत्यक्षादि प्रमाणी कीजे जयाची घेणी ते अज्ञानाची करणी अज्ञान नव्हे. He says, it is not possible to prove ignorance by the means of knowledge because they are not ignorance but are the effects of ignorance. Remember, first rule, every effect has a cause, and effect can never come to know the cause. Effect can never come to know the cause. Cause is always larger, more expansive than the effect. A wave can never come to know the ocean. An ornament can never come to know the entire gold. A pot can never come to know the entire mud. Similarly, knowledge is gathered through the pramana or the means of knowledge, such as the senses. And what are we gathering? What knowledge are we gathering? Seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting, thinking. 6. Through the, or the knowledge is gathered through the pramana or the means of knowledge, such as the senses, the mind, and the intellect. However, the scriptures tell us that these upadhis, these conditionings, are the effects of ignorance. One line of logic could be that because the effects exist, therefore the cause must exist. See, those who study those who study Vedanta and everything, and they follow or don't follow the logic to its conclusion, they'll be confused by these statements. On one hand, in Bhagavad Gita, in Shankar Bhashya, in Upanishads, in Panchadashi, we keep talking about every effect must have a cause. And we keep telling you also that all the resultant, the resultant effects, namely the senses and the mind and the intellect, they are the effect of the cause. When we say Annamaya Kosh, Pranmaya Kosh, Manomaya Kosh, Vijnanmaya Kosh, and Anandamaya Kosh. Kosh meaning the sheath, body sheath, breath sheath or vital air sheath, mental sheath, intellectual sheath, and the last one is the bliss sheath. These are the 5 bodies that make your body. They are the 5 envelopments. The body sheath is enveloped by the vital air sheath. The vital air sheath, meaning the cause. The air is more pervasive than the body. It becomes the cause. The air, on the other hand, is the effect, and it is pervaded by the mind. The mind becomes the cause. The mind becomes the effect, and it is pervaded by the intellect. Intellect becomes the cause. Remember, in the intellect aham, and in the mind idam. What is the cause of the aham or the intellect? Anandamaya Kosh. What is Anandamaya Kosh? When you attribute Anand, remember Satchidanand? So there also Anand is there. How come this is Anand also? But the moment you are adding to it Anandamaya Kosh, Kosh meaning the sheath, conditioning, that Anandamaya Kosh is equal to deep sleep, is equal to forgetfulness, is equal to ignorance. This is what is given in the scriptures. Jnaneshwar Maharaj is enquiring, is there something called ignorance? If these are the effects, intellect, mind, breath, and the body are the effects, and the cause is ignorance, is it possible? So, here when he says, where are we? One line of logic could be that because the effects exist, therefore the cause must exist. The effects do not exist without a cause. We have already told you the rule is every cause must have an effect. However, the second line of logic could be to question the validity of trying to establish the cause, ignorance, through its own effects, the pramana, because the effects cannot know the cause. This is what exactly I told you. What are we trying to do? Through our senses, we are trying to establish the cause that ignorance is. What is the effect? Remember, if the scriptures say ignorance expresses as manasa vacha kaya, the expression of ignorance is mind, speech, and activity. Now, through the speech, through your mind, you are trying, which is effect, we are trying to know its mother, the ignorance. Is it possible? Just like through the senses, we are trying to come to know the mind. Is it possible for our senses to know the mind? Never. It can keep trying. It can never come to know. So, a second line of logic could be to question the validity of trying to establish the cause through its own effect, because cause alone expresses as effects. This is the methodology given in our scriptures. So, can the effects come to know the cause? No. Can the senses come to know the mind? No. Can the idam come to know aham? No. Effect can never come to know the cause. And what are we trying to do right now? We are trying to, for last so many years, we are studying scripture after scripture after scripture, all words. And through these words, we are trying to establish the self. Through these words, we are trying to establish or not establish the ignorance. Think how deeply we have got caught up, and therefore we keep repeating. Apply all this while you are listening. It's like we are caught up in the whirlpool of thinking. We have to get out of it. We have to recognize we are the water. Let the whirlpool be there. How does it matter? You be the water. Then neither you are sucked into the whirlpool nor you are thrown out of the whirlpool, because you are the water. River doesn't suffer the whirlpool. The river does not suffer. See? And the senses, etc., cannot be the effect of self, because the self is beyond cause and effect. Therefore, we can infer that their cause is ignorance and ignorance exists. This is one of the one way of looking at it. The senses cannot be effect of the self. Why they cannot be the effect of the self? Senses, when we say, Don't forget, the five senses, the mind, they cannot exist in the self because self alone is. There is no multiplicity, duality, variety existing in the self. If you say, oh, there is so much variety of waves existing in the water, that is from, you are looking from the outside. You look at it from water's point of view. You look at it from water's point of view. There is no waves. There is not, only water is. You see a variety of ornaments in the gold because you are outside. Take the position of the gold and look. He will say, I alone am. There are no ornaments. From outside, you are looking at yourself. I am the father, I am the mother, I am the daughter, I am the sister, etc., etc. You be the one, then no rules are there. Similarly, when we take from the self point of view, the Atma point of view, no, there cannot be any effect because in the self there is no duality possible. There is no duality possible. So therefore, and the senses, etc., cannot be the effect of self because the self is beyond cause and effect. Cause and effect is at the relative level. And relative is just an idea. It's just, actually, there is nothing called relative. There is only divinity everywhere. This is where Jnaneshwar Maharaj is taking us. That you are complete. The sun is beyond the cause and effect, day and night. The water is beyond the cause and effect. Ocean the cause, wave the effect. Water is beyond that. It's transcendental. Are you transcendental or are you caught up in the cause and effect? Apply on this principle on yourself. Cause and effect. Deep sleep is the cause, waking and dream is the effect. Are you the sleeper? Are you the dreamer? Are you the waker? Or are you the one who knows these three? If your answer is, I know these three, then you are beyond cause and effect. That is your true nature. Yes, I understand, but, and you will get caught up. Why? Because you are considering yourself as this body in the waking plane right now. These issues you don't have in the dream. Very quickly, the moment you wake up, you discard your dream completely. You are not attached to your body, you are not attached to your relations, you are not attached to your children, you are not attached to your property, you are not attached to your health or disease or investments or houses or whatever, whatnot. Everything, the moment you wake up, you are ready to, you don't even try. It just, there is no attachment at all. But see how deep the attachment has gone in accepting that I was there yesterday in the waking and today also I am there and tomorrow also I will be. See, get out of this cause and effect. Deep sleep is the cause, waking and dream are the effect. Parents are the cause, child is the effect. Knowledge is the cause, realization will be the effect. No, realization is not an effect. Knowledge itself is an expression of ignorance. This is how it is taken. But here we are saying that there is only one, and that is the Atma, the Self. And therefore, he says, therefore, we can infer that their cause is ignorance. So, this is and ignorance exists. So, when it is taken in this manner, the logic that in the self, the cause and effect are not valid, but we are seeing the cause and effect in the world, then where have they come from? We say they come from ignorance, or from the expressions we infer the cause. If we see a child, you can't see the parents, but you know that there must be a parent, only then the child can come into existence. If we see fire, or if we see smoke, we know there is a fire there. This is cause and effect. You may not have seen the fire, but you infer. It's inference. Inference means without direct perception, you are coming to a conclusion through the effects. So you are far away in a jungle and you see a smoke, column of smoke rising, and you infer that there must be a fire there, therefore the smoke is. So what are we saying here? Because there are senses and there is the mind, therefore ignorance is. Because if it cannot come out of the self, in the self no variety is, then there it must have come from somewhere. That somewhere, that cause, we say as ignorance. And therefore the conclusion, ignorance exists. This could be one of the logic. We are not trying to say, just we are presenting the logic. Then we'll refute it. That would be like the examples given below. For example, Zaisi Ankuresi Sarala Veli Dise Velhada Te Bij Navhe Kevala Bija Karya Hoya. Just as the sprout and the creeper are the effects of the and expanse of the seed and not the seed, from them we infer the existence of the seed. The sprout and the creeper are the effects of the seed, however, they themselves are not the seed. The seed does not show any of the characteristics of the effect, the creeper. To apply. The sprout and the creeper are the effects of seed. Effects are expressions of the cause. The trees, the branch, the leaves, the flowers, the fruits, the roots are effects of the cause, the seed. The root is not equal to seed, the trunk is not equal to seed, the flowers are not equal to seed, the fruits are not equal to seed, the branches are not equal to seed, the leaves are not equal to seed. But all this variety cannot be without the seed. So what do we say? Seed is the cause and all this variety is the effect. Second, the variety cannot be the cause because it is not. As I just said, a root is not equal to seed. They themselves are not the seed. The seed does not show any of the characteristics of the effect. When you take a seed and you open it, you can't see the root, you cannot see the shoot, you cannot see the branches, you cannot see the leaves, you cannot see the flower, you cannot see the fruit. So in the effects, you cannot see the cause, and in the cause, you cannot see the effects. मजेदार चीज है, very funny situation. In the parents, you cannot see the child. In the child, you cannot see the parents. But what are we imagining? A child cannot be without the parents. We are inferring. You're inferring. The seed does not show any of the characteristics of the effect. The creeper. Now, keep that example parked in the parking bay of your mind. Come to the next example. का शुभा शुभ रूपे स्वप्न दृष्टि आरोपे ते नींद नभे जाऊपे निदेचे की. Good and bad dreams are not sleep, but they are the creation children of the sleep. The good and bad dreams that one experiences are the effects of sleep, the cause. They are born out of sleep, but they are not sleep. What did I say just a few minutes ago? That deep sleep is the cause, waking and dream are the effect. But when you are dreaming, are you sleeping? No. In the sleep, can you see any dream when you are sleeping? No. So in the sleep, the cause, there is no dream and there is no waking. The effect is not present in the cause. And when you look at the effect, the dream or the waking, you cannot see the cause. It is not the cause. There is no inkling there. But we imagine. We infer. Not imagine, infer. That the cause of waking and dream must be something. What is that? Deep sleep. Neither deep sleep is found in waking and dream, nor waking and dream, the variety of waking and dream is found in the deep sleep. This is your experience also on a daily basis. Another example, na na chand ek ase to vyomi duza dise te timira karya jaise timira nave pai. Though the moon is one, she appears as two in the sky as the result of the effect of the defective eye. It is not itself an eye defect. Or, although there is only one moon in the sky, by some modification or defect in the eye, like when the eyeball is pressed, one can see a second moon. The second moon is the effect of the defect of pressing the eyeball, the cause. The cause and effect are distinct from each other. The effect is not the cause itself. See? So, is the eye equal to two moons? No. In the second moon or in the moon, is there the eye defect? No. So, this is a very different conclusion that Jnaneshwar Maharaj has come. Normally, we say, in common parlance, we say every effect must have a cause. Cause alone expresses as many effects. What was the third one? If you remove the cause, there is no effect. If you remove the ignorance, there is no expression of the ignorance. But here we are going into that, is expression of ignorance possible? Through the effects, can we come to know? Can we infer there is an ignorance? When Jnaneshwar Maharaj before has said that ignorance is, there is nothing, there is only the reality. So where has this ignorance come from? And we are saying, creating a cause and effect scenario, that ignorance is the cause and everything else is the effect. Just like I told you, deep sleep, the Anandamaya Kosh is the cause and other four koshas are the effect consecutively. He is refuting that. The effect is not the cause itself. Because in the effect, no characteristics of the cause are seen. And in the cause, no characteristics of the effects are seen. Just like, again I'll repeat, In the seed, the varieties, the root, shoot, etc., the branch, etc., are not seen in the seed. And in the tree, the seed is not seen. So, therefore, the effect is not the cause itself. More examples or what? These examples go to prove that the effect can be different from the cause. Taise pramata prameya pramana te traya te ajnana che karya ajnana nave. In the same way, the triad of knower known and the means of knowledge are the effects of ignorance and not the ignorance. So just like that, knower known knowing, every thought is made up of the triputi, the triad. We say they are expressions of ignorance. But no, in these three, the ignorance is not seen. And in the ignorance, these three are not available. So they are independent of that. So here it is said, the triad of knower, known, and the means of knowledge are the effects of ignorance and not the ignorance. Because in ignorance, you cannot find it. Take the previous examples. We are trying to deduce something. Here, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is taking in a different direction. This you don't find in, well, at least as far as I can remember, this inquiry I have not seen this type, in this manner, in the Shankar Bhashya. Or if it is there, maybe I was sleeping in the class that time. I don't know. We'll find out. मनौनी प्रत्यक्षादि की अज्ञान कार्य विषेखी न घेपे ये विखी आन नाही. Therefore, the effects of ignorance may not comprehend the cause, that is ignorance, but from the inference we can still prove that the ignorance does exist. So from inference, because we are seeing the effect, we are coming to infer there is a cause. We have also come to this conclusion through inquiry and through logic that the effect can never come to know the cause. Therefore, the conclusion is that the effects of ignorance, that is the senses and the mind, cannot comprehend the cause. What is the cause? Ignorance. They cannot comprehend the ignorance. The effects are equally ignorant. They are as inert as ignorance itself. So are the eyes conscious? No. A dead man also has eyes. Living person also has the eyes. But we are so obsessed. What I see is what I believe. What I hear is the truth. I am the body is the truth. Forget that. I am the husband, that is the truth. I am the wife, that is the truth. And then we become a little bit spiritual, and then we come to this cause and effect theory. It's only a theory. Oh, cause is ignorance. So I'm nobody. I'm nothing. I'm ignorant. I don't know who I am. So the effects, when we said the root is not equal to seed, the trunk is not equal to seed, the branches not equal to seed, the fruits, the flowers, the leaves are not equal to seed, means the various parts of the tree cannot know their cause, the seed cannot know the cause. Similarly, the senses and the mind, they cannot come to know their cause. In Kathopanishad, this is what we are doing right now, the Laya Prakriya. The senses cannot come to know the tanmatras. The tanmatras cannot know the mind. The mind cannot know the intellect. The intellect cannot know the Virat Purush. The Virat Purush cannot come to know the Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha cannot come to know the unmanifest Maya or Prakriti, beyond which is the Ishvara, and beyond both the unmanifest and Ishvara is the Purusha, the Supreme Person. There is nothing beyond that Supreme Person. When we are looking at the effects, the body, the fingers, the nose, etc., we can't see the truth. We can't see the ignorance also, nor can we see the truth. Because we are searching for it in the effects. We are searching for it in that which is changing. Like you are trying to catch the river. You can never catch the river. The water has changed. You are trying to catch the truth as the body in the body. Not possible. You are trying to catch the truth in the mind. Not possible. So also ignorance also. You are trying to catch the ignorance, the cause of the senses and the mind through the senses and the mind. Not possible. Intellect included. Through conceptualizing, through ideas, through logic, you cannot catch it. Just like the trunk can never catch the seed, the leaves can never catch the seed, so also the senses, the mind, the intellect, the thoughts can never catch the cause, the ignorance. If that makes sense, we will move ahead. This is stated in the next. So the effects are equally ignorant because they cannot know the cause. The effects are also of the nature of ignorance. Ajnana karyapane घेई जे ते अज्ञान म्हणणे तेरी घेताची करणे तया तेची. If we try to establish ignorance inferentially from the effects, it is not possible because the effects are equally ignorant and would not know. Why? The senses, the mind, the intellect are of the nature of inertness. Inertness is that which has come into existence and is stayed for some time and then gone out of existence. That is inert. That whatever is coming and going is inert. I was born and I am living and I will go away one day. I am inert. If you consider yourself to be the coming and going person, then you are inert. Then what should I do? Inspire. So remember, what did we say? Senses, the mind and the intellect cannot come to know the truth or the ignorance. Here the word truth is not used. They cannot come to know their cause, the ignorance. And naturally, the senses and the mind and intellect cannot come to know the truth also. That is why in our scriptures it is said, Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasa. Taittiriya Upanishad says, the speech cannot reveal the truth. And the mind cannot comprehend the truth. That statement is true for ignorance also. The speech cannot reveal the ignorance, nor the mind can comprehend the ignorance, the cause. Not possible. If ignorance were accepted from the effects through inference, then the effects called the sense organs, mind and the intellect are also ignorance. See, on one hand, we proved that the seed is not the tree and the tree is not equal to seed. But tree cannot be without the seed. In the tree, there is no seed. In the trunk, there is no seed. In the branch, there is no seed. So it's a very funny situation. It's a very funny experience that we are going through. That if very important, underline, if we accepted that from the effects we come to the cause, the ignorance, through inference, then the effects called the sense organs, mind, and the intellect are also ignorance, because cause alone expresses as many effects. That is the rule. The seed alone expresses as the various variety in the tree, root, shoots, branch, etc. Without the seed, the tree has got no possibility of appearing, manifesting. But is the tree equal to seed? No. Is the seed equal to tree? No. Can you see the tree in the seed? Not possible. Can you see the seed in the trunk or the leaf or the branch or the root? Not possible. But without the seed, tree is not possible. Tree, the effect, cause the seed. But it is not possible for ignorance to know ignorance. So, Jnaneshwar Maharaj and our Swamiji are playing with our mind. Therefore, ignorance is not possible to know ignorance. Very, very important point. What is that? The cause is ignorance, and the effect of the cause, if ignorance is the material out of which the effect is made, the effect is also of the nature of ignorance only. So by the ignorance, can you come to know ignorance? Not possible. By the ignorance, can you come to know ignorance? Not possible. So can ignorance come to know ignorance? No. Both the effects and the cause are inert, and there can be no transaction of knowledge between them. Ignorance is inert, and effects are also inert. If you take Kathopanishad's Lay Prakriya, the effect, the cause of the senses are the 5 elements, tanmatras. Can the senses come to know the tanmatras? No. In the tanmatras, are the senses there? No. The tanmatras alone are expressing as these senses, and alone are those 5 elements in their nasal form. They are alone expressing as all the forms that are appearing in this world. And through this, so is one hand coming across as 2. So on one hand it has become the senses, and the other hand it has become the sense objects. It is playing with itself. What? The tanmatras. Then the cause of the tanmatras is the mind. These tanmatras are available in the waking plane also and in the dream plane also. One is outside and one is inside. Can they come to know the mind? No. देखो मजा देखो. because the effect is inert and the cause is also inert. Inert is that, which means that it is not conscious. Another way to put it is, it is not permanent. Changing is always inert, and inert cannot come to know another inert. You need consciousness to know. So which means, oh, do you mean to say that all the words and all the books that we are reading, they are inert? Yes, they are inert. So you mean to say book cannot teach us anything? No, they cannot teach you anything. Then why are we listening? Your fault. Why are you talking? Mind's fault. So there is no knowledge possible between by speaking and hearing? No. No knowledge possible. And yet this interaction must go on. Then how is knowledge possible? What is that on which this knowledge is riding? Consciousness. What is that on which the hearing is possible? The consciousness. When consciousness meets consciousness, then knowledge is possible. Then are there two consciousnesses? No. There are no two consciousnesses. And the moment you realize, then all the variety, boom, gone. All the beings. This is how the masters live. Both the effects and the cause are inert, and there can be no transaction of knowledge between them. There is transaction of thoughts. Transaction of thought is not equal to transaction of knowledge. There is transaction of vision. The light of the eyes illuminating some object. It is illuminating, like this light here, this light is illuminating the book, illuminating the scriptures, it's illuminating the laptop. Can the scriptures or these words that, or this book or this laptop or this table, can they come to know the light? Not possible. Are these variety, the book, the table, the laptop, are they available in the light? Not possible. Can you read the book without the light? Not possible. Can you see the world without the light? Not possible. See the funny situation that we find ourselves in. See. The effect can never come to know the cause. In the cause, there is no effect. And if we accept that there is an effect, then cause alone is expressing through the effect. But effect, and that is only if, not expressing. I'll take my words back. In the seed there is no tree, in the tree there is no seed. The tree can never come to know the seed can never come to know the tree. Apply that to cause and effect. Both the effect and cause are inert, and there can be no transaction of knowledge between them. Therefore, it is not possible to establish ignorance inferentially through its effects. This requires a calm mind to come to this conclusion, that it is not possible to establish ignorance inferentially. In last few verses that we saw today, we were dealing ignorance through inference. Inference, cause and effect. And through that we have come to this conclusion that ignorance cannot be established through inference. Ignorance the cause. We cannot establish it. This is said in another way in the next OVE. How compassionate the teacher is. He's giving us so many different ways to look at the same thing so that we come to the correct assessment of who we are. Are we the body? Are we the waker? Are we the dreamer? Are we the sleeper? Are we the witnessing consciousness? Or are we the infinite reality? We'll look at it next week. इतना काफ़ी है आज के लिए. ॐ पूर्णमदा पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ.